I would love them all to go because I love my players to be involved in national teams. I think it's a question of pride for them, and is a plus for us as a club. So we like the players to go, but of course, if we could choose, we wouldn't like the players to play 3 matches. But I cannot do Garrett's work the same way Garrett is not trying to do my work. He doesn't make any comments about my selection. He doesn't give any public opinion about should I play or should I rest or should I give more minutes to this English player or less minutes to the other one to rest. He never makes any comment. I don't feel also very comfortable in doing that. He does what he wants. He does what he thinks is the best for the team. I believe that he has a good relation with Harry. So good relation means normally good communication. And I hope that in between them, without me being in the middle saying something, I hope that in between them, they can find some compromise to protect the player a little bit.
So it began by talking in riddles there and then got to the punchline at the end. Simon, what are you shaking your head about?
What's the riddle?
Well, who knows where he was going at the top of it all. But is he right to once again publicly warn, if you like, pressure Southgate into protecting Kane in this upcoming international break?
Is that what he did then? How did he do that?
Pretty much so.
He turned around and said, I don't get pressure from Gareth Southgate about my usage of Harry Kane and how many minutes he plays for Tottenham, so I don't feel comfortable in telling Gareth Southgate.
Obviously he's not going to get pressure from Southgate.
So obviously he's saying, I don't get pressure about how I utilise. Gareth Southgate wants Harry Kane for 3 games coming up in a pressing schedule for the international team. He doesn't come on to me and tell me how to play my player, so I'm not going to go on to him and tell him how to play my player in international duty.
He goes on to tell Southgate that we're kind of looking for a compromise.
And then we turn around and say, I hope that Harry can use his relationship when we're playing San Marino and Albania, and perhaps deploy the England captain sparingly for the best interest of the international team in the summer and for his club side. What in God's name is wrong with that? We don't need to have a full lineup against San Marino, do we? We can beat San Marino without Harry Kane, can't we?
Here's one for you. Why doesn't he just lift the phone to Southgate and say that instead of saying it yesterday publicly?
Well, why don't we frame the whole interview and hear what the interviewer asked him?
What? Say that again. Sorry.
Why don't we frame the whole context of his response?
You heard the whole thing.
Well, no, the whole context of the question that was asked of him.
The context of the question was, did he find it frustrating seeing so many of his players going off in international duty, and in particular Harry Kane?
So he's answered the question, and now we're saying that you should go and phone Gareth Southgate.
No.
So I'll tell you what, I can't answer the question, Mr. Journalist, because I'm too busy on the phone to Gareth Southgate. You've asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer. Now we're going to scrutinise it. This is no different from any other manager. All the managers were unhappy about their players going away to play in South American games, frustrated by that because of the COVID-19 policies and the passages of travel safety. Every manager has this balance between their very, very best players, and we will sit on this show and argue about Tottenham are made up by 2 players. If they haven't got Son and they haven't got Kane, they're a waste of time. So, of course, the incumbent manager of Tottenham is going to say, in games that have a degree of walkover ability, we should walk over San Marino.
But is that his prerogative to do that?
Well, of course it's his prerogative. His job is to manage Tottenham Hotspur. His job is to make sure that he gets the best Harry Kane back.
Exactly. So why is he talking about Kane finding a compromise with Southgate?
Because he's being asked a question about, is he frustrated about Harry Kane and the usage of him in England duty? How else is he supposed to answer that question?
Why does he not answer it with... Listen, I've been speaking to Southgate quite regularly recently. It's up to Gareth, and Gareth knows best. So when it comes to Harry wearing an England jersey, Gareth will decide how many minutes he plays.
Why do we want to script Mourinho for what he should and shouldn't say? Why are we so fascinated by the fact that the man has a definite view, has a definite scenario, operates a certain way in the press, gives the press gold dust most of the time, and we seem to be spending all our time...
Gold dust?
Well, he does. For over the last 17 years, there's never been a more engaging... You know it, Jim. People have lived vicariously through Mourinho's utterings over the last 17 years. We still look back 17 years ago to the special one walking through the door.
Why doesn't he just say nothing here yesterday and just allow Southgate to manage England any which way he wants and select who he wants?
Why doesn't the journalist not ask him that question then? Which is the first, the chicken or the egg? The journalist asked him the question, Mourinho answered it. We're now going to scrutinise it and find some deep, dark, sinister meaning with the third gunman and the grassy knoll conspiracy.
We know why he's answering it in the way he answered it.
Why's that then?
Cloak and dagger type.
What's cloak
reply.
and dagger? What's cloak and dagger?
What's
Gareth
cloak and dagger?
Gareth
He hopes
Southgate-
that Kane can reach a compromise to protect him from playing all three of England's World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, do we for everybody? That could be taken as for everybody's benefit. Wouldn't we want a fit and focus? Do we want Harry Kane injured against San Marino that we should be able to beat them with Scotland's team? Or do we want? Do we want?
There's no need.
I'm sorry, there is. It's just there just is, right? But going back to the central point, is it not reasonable if Harry Kane were to be injured against San Marino and wasn't available for the England team in the European Championship? Wouldn't we be saying, did we really need to play him against San Marino?
Listen, why didn't he just keep it in house, Simon?
Why should? Because you asked him a bloody question.
It's the way he answered it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which will only answer the questions the way the media determine how you should answer it. Jim, listen to yourself. You're disappearing up your own backside.
Not at all.
You are.
Not at all. Why on earth would he want to go public with finding a compromise?
Because someone asked him a question.
Why on earth?
Because
it's the way he answered it.
Oh, for God's sakes, Jim, you really are losing the grip of the situation here.
Why wouldn't Josie come in with something a lot more understandable by saying, well, in actual fact, you know what? I've been speaking to Gareth a couple of times recently about Harry.
Then what would we have to talk about?
And
How do you know
Gareth knows where I stand
How do you know he hasn't?
with Harry, and I know where Gareth stands with Harry.
So are you really telling me that you want now for the media to script an answer? Oh, come on.
Veiled messages.
No,
veiled
it's
messages.
a straightforward message. I hope that there is a compromise in utilising this supreme player in the England and Tottenham setup in the utilisation of him, which is effective for all of us. What is wrong with that? Oh, I know what's wrong with it. Mourinho said it. Oh, no. There's no agenda against Mourinho. Leave off.
Fine. Believe what you want to believe.
See what I see. Hear what I hear.
Cloak and dagger. It's 10:30.